everyone, and welcome back. This is part 2 in a conversation I had with my friend TJ Kirk, the Amazing Atheist. If you're not subscribed to the Amazing Atheist, then go do so right now. On his channel, you'll find part 1 of this conversation, and I'll also leave a link down below. Enjoy.
That's why Trump won, is because he seemed like he was going to be something different, but he's not.
Probably not. Yeah. I mean, he hasn't done anything yet that he didn't say he was going to do, though. So I guess that's a good thing.
So, yeah, I mean, like, if anything, you could say he's kept his promises, or at least tried to, mostly just through executive orders that are, I don't know, they're kind of flimsy. Like, you really need to put this shit through Congress if you really want it to stick. And you got a Republican
Yeah, I mean, it sounds
it
sounds really powerful to say executive order, but it doesn't have that much effect because it obviously can be challenged through courts, and it only affects the government employees and all that shit. So it's not a law.
But I mean, it's not a law. So I mean, it gets challenged through the courts, and maybe it'll be upheld. But the thing about it is that when you're just doing it all through executive orders, it's almost like you just want to have this big, long fight, you know, to distract people and say, "Oh, look, I'm trying, but I'm being obstructed." Meanwhile, you know what will actually get passed through the Congress and shit? It'll be lower taxes for the super rich. And, massive deregulations businesses, which some regulations are bullshit, whatever. But massive deregulation of big business, massive tax cuts for big business, because that's always the Republican MO. That's what's really going to happen. That's the thing that's going to happen and actually stick. And that's my prediction anyway. I could be totally wrong. We'll see.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. But I thought you made a really good point there with the shipping off the work to Mexico and then bringing it back in, basically fucking both parties. That's a very good point. I'm going to remember that. Just everyone's getting fucked on that.
Yeah, I mean, look, I guess it might be good in some way for Mexico to have those jobs, even if they're low paying by our standards. Maybe for those people it's good, but if you're an American company and you're primarily selling your product to Americans, then I feel like it's not your job to enrich fucking Mexico. And I know it's not your job. It's not really your job to enrich Americans either. But it should be the job of our government to see that your business does enrich the people in this country. I'm not just America first all the time and all matters kind of person, but when it comes to our government, yeah, I think they should have our best interest at heart, not the best interest of the global economy.
Of course, because no one else is going to have it.
Yeah, like
Mexico doesn't give a shit.
If we're not going to fucking say America first, who is going to say America first? No fucking buddy.
Yeah, no one.
It makes perfect sense for you to put your own country's considerations above other countries, just as it makes sense to put your own interest above other people's interests. I mean, there's obviously lines. There's obviously situations where selfishness goes too far. But I think that it's not that hard of a balance to fucking strike, not even on a
of course, and it's level. Kind of the difference between selfishness and enlightened self-interest, I would say.
Yeah, exactly. And so, maybe it's a heroic thing to run into a burning building to save somebody, but if you die, you're dead, and America doesn't need to be running into burning buildings either. Because we don't want our whole country to die because of some act of supposed altruism or something that's being presented to us as altruism anyway.
So what are your thoughts on us getting involved in all these wars and everything?
I love these fucking stupid fucking liberals who are so pissed at Trump for his Yemen raid. Oh, he did the Yemen raid and 30 innocent people were killed. 90% of the drone strikes carried out by the Obama administration did not kill their intended targets. They killed bystanders.
90%?
90%. Unbelievable figure.
Jesus, who made those fucking drones?
Well, it's just a matter of having shitty intelligence on the ground and shit. They don't really know where the target is, but if they think there's even a fucking there's a chance he's there, bomb it. We've had bombings in 7 countries. Obama dropped bombs on 7 fucking countries during his presidency. How do I feel about it? I think it's a waste of our fucking time. It's a waste of our resources, and it's certainly not increasing our goodwill around the fucking world. And most of it has just been proxy wars. We're fighting in countries that we really don't even have any beef with because we're using them as pawns in a chess game against Russia or against China, or sometimes Saudi Arabia is a bit of a player in that as well. Iran can be a bit of a player in that as well. But I mean, these are mostly proxy wars where we back this dictator, we back that dictator. It got so ridiculous that Clinton and Petraeus, General Petraeus, they were fucking advocating a plan to arm Al Qaeda because they currently were fighting someone that we wanted out.
Right.
It's like, yeah, let's give weapons to the people who did 9/11 so that they'll kill the guy we don't like now.
Yeah, that'll happen.
This is like, let's summon forth demons and just hope they'll only eat our enemies. What? It's just nonsense. We're playing, like, these people just have such fucking hubris. They think that this is a fucking chess game. They brag about seeing the world like a chessboard. They're the worst fucking chess players ever because they don't realize that these are not pawns. These are people. They have their own fucking will, their own fucking ideas, and it doesn't matter how many times let's train this guy Osama bin Laden to fight the Soviet Union. That won't backfire. Oops, it backfired. Welp, not our fault.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what people did before there were like StarCraft and Civilization and shit. They just started wars, and the presidents and leaders of the world, that's what they do. They don't play StarCraft. They just fucking invade countries instead.
Well, if Hillary Clinton is an example, then yeah, because look, she's that thing about I view the world like a chessboard. That was an official policy statement released to people about her foreign policy. Is like Hillary sees the world like a chessboard.
Yeah, it's almost perverse.
It's like, well, then fuck Hillary. Why would I want that? It sounds like a fucking James Bond villain. I don't want that as the president. Yeah. Fuck off. No, thank you.
Fuck.
And then people come to me and they're like, how can you honestly say Hillary would have been worse? It's like, because I've actually read about what she is.
Yeah, what about what
she fucking does?
Yeah, like those fucking no-fly zones.
Yeah, the no-fly zones in Syria that might have started World War III, but she don't give a shit because it's just a fucking chess gambit to her.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. I mean, anything that has a possible consequence that is World War III, we should probably steer clear of.
Yeah, or at least give it some very careful consideration before just saying, yeah, let's do it. Let's fucking do it. I don't think Russia has the guts to cross our no-fly line. It's like, what if they do? Oh, well, then I guess World War III, or at least, at the very least, an escalation of the Cold War.
Yeah.
No, not a good idea, Hillary. You're a dumb bitch. You're not good at chess.
Yeah, we don't want to go back to that shit. Jesus Christ.
I don't want. I mean, obviously, this is a naive notion, but I don't want to be at war with anybody ever.
Of course.
I feel like it's good to not be at war and killing each other and shit.
Well, it seems like every president has this pressure on him to go to war somewhere. Otherwise, his presidency is a failure.
I mean, that gets down to like the military-industrial complex and shit. I mean, there's so many contractors that make so much money. Like, look, Halliburton's in Iraq is a good example. We saw that they were charging, like $200 for a meal for a troop. It's like, what the fuck are you feeding him? They give him a fucking scoop of gruel, charge the U.S. government $200 for it, and it's like, yeah, Halliburton's rich, yay.
Yeah. And
all it cost was a huge amount of life and tax dollars to make it happen. Cool.
Yeah, you couldn't even give them armor plating and shit. Like,
yeah,
they had to send their own fucking vests from their families and shit to have some fucking armor.
We spend more on the military than the next, I think 10 countries combined.
Yeah,
and
something like that.
Here we are in an actual war, and not even a huge war, just a war with some little shithole backwoods fucking country. And we can't properly armor our troops. I mean, no one thinks that's suspicious. No one asks, like, hey, where's this money going if it's not going here? They don't ask, oh, well, actually, it went to develop an army of tanks that we have no intention of ever using. Oh, well, those billions. I think there was a jet that I think it costs $1 trillion. I mean, I'm pulling from my shaky memory here, but it was some ridiculous amount of money to develop this jet that, according to all the experts, is just a total inferior piece of shit.
Right.
And it's like, why are we doing this? And it's because these companies who are making this shit are in bed with the government. They're both. I mean, like, I'll tell you an old joke, and then I'll let you talk. It's not a hilarious joke, but I think it explains the situation pretty well. There's a government guy, and he needs to contract out a fence to be built.
Mm-hmm.
And so he takes a bid. The first guy comes and he looks at the job and he says, "Okay, this is about $500."
Mm-hmm.
Next guy comes and says, "It's going to be $10,000."
Right.
And he says, "Well, wow, that's way higher than the last bid. How do you figure that?" And he said, "Oh, well, I figure, we'll you give me the $10,000, and then I'll subcontract that guy that bid 500. We'll get him to do it, and we'll split the difference."
Right.
And that's the system that's in place. It's like, okay, there's all this money changing hands. There's not really much oversight, so it's just playtime. Oh yeah. Oh, there's billions of dollars to this project. Yeah, and all of it's going to that project, right? No, it's enriching everyone who wants to be enriched. It's enriching everyone who's involved in the fucking boondoggle. And then we just get fucked, and they don't care about what cost it is to us. They don't care that they're siphoning away funds that should be used to fucking armor the troops that we've sent into a country that we never should have fucking sent them into to goddamn begin with. They don't care about that shit. All they care about is, well, I'm fucking sleeping on a fucking bed stuffed with $100 bills tonight. So, I'm buying a fucking gaggle of fucking the most expensive whores on the planet to fucking suck my dick till I fall asleep.
Oh, you got to respect that, though.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta respect that moment.
Yeah,
I don't respect the cost. I don't respect the costs, but I can respect what they're doing.
I think I remember that plane you're talking about. Like, I think Britain ordered a bunch of them, and then they found out that they don't actually fit in their aircraft carriers. Like, oops, we have 100 of these now, and they don't fit. Damn. Jesus
You don't think?
Christ. Don't you guys research shit?
It's the reality is they just don't give a shit because they don't care about actually developing a better fucking jet. That's not what it's about. It's just about, oh, I made money. We made a bunch of money. Yay! We're good at capitalism because we made money. Well, you're making it on a total scam. And like I said earlier in the fucking show, my dad was a fucking scam artist. I know how they fucking think. These guys are just doing the same thing on a huge, massive, ultra large scale. They're just ripping everybody off. And no one gives a shit. No one's even paying fucking attention. And when they do, even if you do pay attention and say it like we're saying it right here, or I'm saying it, what happens? Nothing. No one gives a shit. What are we going to do? Raid Lockheed Martin and be like, we're burning you to the fucking ground. It's not going to happen.
No. It's like that old saying, like, if you owe the bank $1 million, you have a problem. If you owe the bank 100 million, they have a problem. When it gets up to that scale, it's you can't really attack them anymore. It's not. It goes beyond what's legal and illegal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and that's why you have a separate justice system for these people. We talked earlier about how you can't have two court systems, but actually, in a way, there is two court systems. There's a court system for people like you and me and 99% of this fucking planet, more than 99%,
Right.
or more than 99% of this country. Anyway, I shouldn't take this global. But then for the richest of the rich, it seems like there's a totally different system. Because they'll get away with anything, and we say, oh well, because they have the best lawyers that know how to do every single fucking thing and devote themselves their entire giant legal expertise to finding every little loophole to get these guys off. The only time I can think of when one of these big business fucks has ever actually faced any sort of sentence was Bernie Madoff.
Right.
I mean, I guess the Enron guys, but in the case of Bernie Madoff, it's because he fucked over other rich people.
Yeah.
He tricked other rich people into fucking donating.
Now you're in trouble.
Yeah, it's like, oh, wait. You ripped a bunch of people off? Okay, well, that's fine. Wait, they were rich like us? No. You got to go.
Hold on now. Now you're in trouble. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, the guys who did these predatory loans and shit that caused the crash, or were, part of why the big crash happened in 2008. None of them went to jail. None of them suffered any repercussions. Countries like I think it was Greenland that actually ended up. There was banks doing that shit there too. They prosecuted a bunch of bankers. They fucking defaulted on those debts and shit. They just said, "Fuck this."
Right.
We're just not even going to acknowledge this fucking shit. We're just going to let the market crash and see what happens. And their financial recovery was faster than ours.
Right.
It worked just fine because they actually showed the fucking banks like, no, you can't just do whatever the fuck you want. There's fucking rule of law in this country. And we haven't shown them that. We've not done one thing to show Wall Street that they can't gamble with the entire economy.
Isn't that weird though, that you can actually gamble like that? I've never really understood that. I'm not a big stocks guy, or, I don't get into that. But how the fuck can you have an economy that's based on gambling? It's like fucking Vegas.
Yeah, I mean it's a glorified form of gambling. It's basically
futures and all that shit, right? It's just gambling.
Yeah, sure. It's basically saying I think I know what this fucking this stock is going to do. So, I mean,
how's that different to saying I know what this football team is going to do?
Yeah, or I know that number 13 is coming up this time.
I don't get that.
I want to put the entire U.S. economy on number 13.
Yeah, or just red.
27. Oh shit.
And it's like, just put it on red.
Yeah. I guess you're a roulette guy too. So.
No, that's just a.
Oh, I like gambling, so I'm a gambler. I don't know how much I know about stocks, but I do know about gambling. So,
oh, really?
Yep, that is among my vices is gambling. And
you go to Vegas?
Yeah, I've been to Vegas a few times. I like roulette, or some people say roulette. I mean, I don't say that because it's like one of those fucking words. If I say roulette to someone, they're always like roulette. But if I say roulette to someone, they're always like, it's pronounced roulette. It's like,
really?
Oh my God, just fuck off. It's going to be whatever. It's whatever I want it to be.
Yeah, I say roulette.
Yeah, that's what I pretty much stick with that because it seems like most people are that way. But every once in a while, people say, it's roulette. But
that's not really that's not really a game you can get better at. It's just pure chance.
I mean, like I would say to an extent it is, but I don't know. There does seem to be some sort of strategy to it. I mean, there must be because I'm fucking good at it. So
really? Wow. That seems to be like the cliche thing to go and lose all your money.
Yeah, but I don't play roulette where I'm looking for the big score though. Like I'm always looking for like I'll build like a chipset. Like I'll strategically place them on the board so that whatever happens, I'm probably going to make at least most of my money back, but there's a chance that I could win a shit ton of money on something.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, if I just keep playing that same set, like I'll put together like, I don't know, like a $47 bet that I'll just play over and over again. And and usually it'll come back, and sometimes you won 55 or you won 35 or this or that. So like it's not really reducing by 45 each time I play. But on that board, there's a few key places where if it does land, I'll get a big fucking payday. So basically, you just got to play those odds where you're fucking making bets that are making sure your money only drains like really slow or might go up really slow. But ultimately what you're waiting for is like the big hit, like, oh, it landed on this number. So boom, now I've got, now I win $1,200 or whatever. And then I walk away from the table at that point.
Right.
Cause that's really the key to gambling. I find is like, quit while you're ahead. Don't wait don't wait till I'm going to walk out of this place a fucking millionaire. Yeah. Just go in there with like a set amount of money. For me, it's $500 because I don't gamble that much, but I really enjoy it when I do it. I'll go in with $500 and I'll be like, I'm going to either leave with twice this or I'm going to leave with none of this. Right. And I find that more often than not, I leave with twice it. So
that's pretty good. So usually I've never been into roulette or anything. Roulette. But
play poker?
I don't know.
You don't know if you play poker or not?
No, I know, but not really. Not in the real sense. I like the fucking poker machines, man.
That's cool. I mean, hey, if there's a casino that has a roulette machine as opposed to actually being at a roulette table, I'll definitely play that instead.
Yeah,
because it works just the same.
You could just sit in a bar. You can they'll just keep pouring you booze and you get it for free and everything. As long as you keep playing that shit, it's pretty good.
Oh yeah,
I'll go in with like, I'll set a limit like $200 or something. Like, I'm gonna play this, and I'm probably gonna lose it, but I'm gonna get some booze. So fuck it.
Yeah, I would say never go in there with. If you're someone who can't resist the urge to go to the ATM machine, just leave your card wherever you're fucking staying at the time.
Yeah.
But just go in there with the amount of cash that you're willing to fucking lose there. And you'll never have a bad experience at the casino then, because you either lose that money and leave and you say, well, I knew I could lose it, or you make more money and you're like, yeah, I won. I'm happy. Yeah, I have that little rush,
Yeah, that can happen and has happened a few times, but mostly you lose it. But that's fine because I saw it as this is what I'm paying for that experience. Basically, it's going to cost me $200. I'm going to get free booze, and I'm going to sit there and maybe my girlfriend's with me or whatever, and we're just going to have a good time. It's going to cost me $200. So what?
Yeah, I think I've kept pretty close track of my last like 2 or 3 years of gambling, and I'm up about $6,000.
Wow.
So I feel like I must be a pretty decent gambler, at least at roulette. And I'll admit that I will just sit there like a mindless ape and play the slot machine sometimes too, where I'll just be like, and there's absolutely no skill involved there.
No. Yeah. I mean, I can't really get myself to play those things except for just going by that one with a car and just putting in one time and pull.
See, I can get in that fucking stupor of like, and dude, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if this is true. This could be total bullshit. Gamblers have all sorts of ridiculous shit like this, but I feel like if I find there's certain slot machines, and I don't feel like it's all of them. There's certain slot machines that I feel like they let you win a little bit when you first sit down. Like if it's been inactive for a while, I feel like maybe it gives you like that one little or two little wins early on to make you feel like, whoa, this machine's really paying out, but nothing ever big. And just based on that premise, I've gone around, I'll find a series of slot machines that are the same kind. I'll find one that I think is going to do that. And I'll just sit down at one and make a few bets. Then I'll move to the next one and move to the next one and move to the next one. And, it just seems like because if you sit there for a while, it seems like they always end up draining you down. But it always seems like when I first sit down, it's at least at certain machines, it's paying out. So I'll just go down a line of them and I'll end up winning like, $600 cumulatively from the machines or something, which I'll then go piss away at the roulette table probably. So, whatever. But
yeah. But it's kind of nice how they've got this thing down to a science. It's kind of diabolic. The way that you can spend money on a card, so you don't feel like you're actually spending money, but when you win, they pay out in coins and shit. So you're actually feeling that you're winning. So your payment feels like nothing, but your winning feels like a fucking huge thing.
oh yeah, they're masters of psychological manipulation. But every gambler thinks they've figured out their way to manipulate the system. But odds are the house is always manipulating you because they're the ones who are in an opulent fucking palace of lights and gold, and
Yeah.
they've figured this out. They know that you're not ultimately going to come out a winner unless you're just the fucking one lucky piece of shit who puts the coin in and wins the fucking Ferrari or whatever.
Remember when they got caught pumping in pheromones in the air and everything?
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ, there's no length to which you won't go, huh? Jesus Christ. I didn't.
It's all about compromising your judgment, and that's why, I have much better success gambling in a small time casino than I do if I go to Vegas, because the entire city of Vegas is designed to make you just lose your better judgment and spend money like crazy. It's just a money vacuum, and even if you do ultimately win in the casino, chances are they're just going to get your money in other ways because they know you're probably going to spend it there on all the other bullshit they've got. So.
That's true. That is very true. I mean, they have. I don't really spend that much on gambling when I go to Vegas, but it's always expensive, no matter what you do.
They're not only catering to that vice, So yeah. they'll get you one way or another, whether you're a fucking glutton or a poon hound or just a gambler or whatever. Maybe you're all those things. They'll get it one way or another. They're getting that fucking money.
Yeah,
it's a fucking shakedown.
Yeah, that's for sure. Jesus Christ. So did you hear about the Arkansas law against the abortion thingy?
I didn't hear it. Tell me about it.
I just read it, so I'm not gonna say that this is what I read is true because it's from just one news source, but
sure.
Apparently they had a law where you can now sue your girlfriend or wife or whatever to not have an abortion.
Right.
You can force her to not have an abortion, and if she does, she faces a $10,000 fine or up to 6 years in jail.
Right.
That kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't look. A lot of people. I think there's some animosity towards women's issues right now, and it's understandable because there's so many.
Of course, and obviously, people know that I have a lot of problems with feminism, but this is not something that they've even brought up, but this felt like a real issue.
Oh no, yeah, this is that sort of thing. If that's accurate reporting, I mean, I would say I absolutely oppose that. And like I said, there's a lot of animosity towards women's issues, and a lot of it's very understandable because of all the stupid shit that feminists have brought to the table and how ridiculous so many of their arguments are. And we're talking. This is the Amazing Atheist talking on Dome, so we both know perfectly well. But when it comes to the issue of abortion. Look, I can understand why someone would oppose it for religious reasons or whatever. I don't respect those reasons because I don't believe in your religion.
Yeah, of course, I understand why. It's just I don't agree.
Yeah, the thing about it is that when it comes to women and babies, they're the ones who biologically they have to do that. I can't get pregnant. Undoomed can't get pregnant.
Right.
I don't think that that there should be any means of the government mandating that you have to go through this 9-month ordeal because you made a mistake this one night or whatever.
Exactly.
It's taxing on your body. You could fucking suffer at your work. Maybe it's counter to what you're actually trying to do with your life at that time. And I think it's perfectly humane to, before someone's born, just fucking see to it that they're not going to be born.
Right.
Now, I don't, if the fetus is viable and it could survive outside the womb, then whatever. I guess that's a different moral issue. But if it's totally reliant on the mother, then yeah, I don't have any problem with. I mean, maybe it makes me uncomfortable on some level, but I think that the right thing to do is to allow her the right to terminate that pregnancy if she wants to. But on the flip side, I think that these men, and I think this is probably a solution for these men, at least for some of them. I think that they should be able to get what I think they're called financial abortions. Basically, they should be able to say, all right, look, I don't want this kid or whatever. I want to be able to say that I waive all rights to this child, but also I waive all responsibilities to this child. So if you want to have this baby, just know that you're not going to come after me for child support because I'm copping out. I'm getting an abortion. Men should have that right too.
That's a very good point. Very good point.
If a woman makes a mistake, she shouldn't be saddled with the baby. But if a man makes the same mistake, he also shouldn't be saddled with that baby. Both of them should have an out.
Exactly. That's very good.
I think that's fair. The only thing I could see being problematic about that is maybe because if she can't support it, then the government ends up supporting it, and it's a bigger drain on our resources and stuff. So I can see that argument being made, but ultimately, I don't think that's strong enough to counteract the fairness issue that I just discussed.
No, I just found it interesting that the entire issue was not something I've seen in any of the recent feminist videos. It's like, okay, they don't care about that stuff. They just care about the identity politics.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the same thing. It's the same reason you don't see them criticizing Islam. I mean, it's more important to them to be on the side of the Muslims who they see as being persecuted by the right wing. That's more important to them than actual women's rights issues. It's why they don't stand up. I mean, look, I can't say none of them do because there are feminists out there that'll go out and actually do real feminism. That'll actually go to the third world and make sure that girls can get the same education that boys can, or make sure that they have access to condoms and stuff like that, which is, I think, is especially important, and abortions, which I think is especially important in countries where there's huge populations that are growing and there's not really social resources to take care of them.
Right.
I think that goes beyond a woman's issue. That's a society issue. But yeah, I mean, these most of these fucking feminists, these that we see in the media, the Anita Sarkeesian variant of feminism, the Tumblr variant of feminism, the Women's March on Washington variant of feminism, they're way more concerned with fuck Trump and my pussy is great and I'm gonna dress like a vagina and pussy power and my clit, my rules, or whatever fucking stupid slogan they've got going on. They're more concerned with that than they are actual women's issues that are of substance. And the reason for that is because it's so obvious that so many of these people, they look to the great civil rights movements of the past and they say, man, why can't we have something like that? It's why? Because those fights have already been won.
Yeah.
You don't have that great battle ahead of you. Maybe do something with the great society they gave you other than bitch about it. All these civil rights leaders fought to give you a fucking equal leg in this society, and now all you're doing with it is pretending like you're still oppressed because you don't know what else to fucking do.
Yeah, exactly. You saw that article, right? That they made a survey, and 90% of these people are living at home or something like that, right? You saw that?
I don't have any problem with people living at home, I guess.
No, I mean, obviously you can't say that that's wrong.
I know people who live at home that are decent people, but
of course. But
when you have a demographic society that 90% of them are living at home, like you have to kind of ask yourself, how much do you really know about life in the real world?
Yeah, it's an important point. Like, what the fuck do you know? Why are you out there trying to teach me?
To some extent, yeah. Like, look. One of the people always ask me, like, why'd you go from being a libertarian to being a liberal? and you know, now I cringe even call myself a liberal because of these fucking people, but I mean, mostly that's what I am. Why did I go from being a libertarian to be a liberal? The thing that really influenced my politics to change was when I was a libertarian and I was like, man, free market will provide everything. It's because for me, that's almost how it seemed like it was, because I was living with my daddy. And I was fucking, yeah, Dad, I want this thing. And, you know, maybe he'd say yes, maybe he'd say no. But more often than not, ultimately, I'd get what I wanted. You know, and I was just fucking, yeah, Dad, give me money for this. Give me money for that. Buy me this thing. Buy me that thing. Now, he wasn't wrapped around my finger or some shit. But for the most part, you know, ultimately, I got what I wanted. And I was taken care of. And I had room and board. And what I fucking, you know, if I had needs, they were fulfilled for the most part. So... yeah, it's easy to be like, yeah, libertarianism. But then
I like that stuff too.
Yeah, you know. But
I
then
you know, when a lot of people who like that, but then the crash happened.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the crash was one thing, and then also just moving off on my own and being on my own for a while and seeing the world and kind of realizing some of the stuff we've talked about here tonight, just how fucked people are by a system that threw them fucking overboard. And like, you know, the second that we fix that system, the second that we actually restore some checks and balances that get that shit under control, maybe at that point I don't have to say I'm a liberal anymore. Maybe at that point I could say I'm a conservative because I'm all about preserving this that we've created. But that was my. I mean, look, I know that time. You're right. The time of the crash yielded lots of political changes on a lot of people because of the crash. You know, some people went from left to right, some people went from right to left. I went from being more libertarian minded to a little bit more liberal minded. Although I think I still am pretty libertarian when it comes to social issues and stuff. Anyway, I've been blathering on. You go ahead, sir.
No, but yeah, exactly. It was they don't have bad ideas. It's libertarianism is something I sympathize with, but that kind of showed us that we cannot just have market forces. We have to have some sort of regulation on it because otherwise they'll be back there and fucking us up the ass like crazy. So I think that kind of had an impact on a lot of people, at least it did on me. Because yeah, I did like their views and I still agree with a lot of things they say.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of just it's an emergent property of prosperity, though. It's like everything's going great, so it seems like, wow, the market just keeps on giving. This is wonderful. But the market giveth and the market taketh away. You know, there's boom and bust cycles. Yeah,
but we can't have them do that kind of predatory loan things and all that. That's stupid.
Yeah, I really think part of the problem here, it stems from the fact that there's a wall of separation between the people and the government. It was put there by these powerful financial institutions and big multinational corporations. Mm-hmm. And it was put there for the express purpose of us not being able to control them. Because if the government was responsive to the will of the people, then anytime these fucking businesses tried something that was out of sorts and the people got wind of it, we could just say, oh, okay, well, we'll use our government to regulate them. Right. But instead, our government is not responsive to us. It's responsive to them. So we're just fucked. We're just like, hey, guys, please, could you do this thing in the interest of the people? Just this one thing. I mean, like, look, I know there's things we debate out here, but this thing, I think 80% of us, we've decided we want to do this. Could you guys like maybe do that for us? And they're like, nope, sorry, can't do it. Gotta make sure that we can use cheap Chinese, Mexican labor and shit, you know. So, it's just a hideous fucking clusterfuck of bullshit, dude.
Yeah.
It's so broken, and it's not broken for them. It's just broken by design for most people. And I mean, I'm not trying to do classism here, by the way. I believe in being rich. I believe in selling products and making money and being successful and being prosperous. And I want that for myself. And you probably want that for yourself.
Of course. I mean, what else is going to motivate you?
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, all I think I'm saying, and I think Undum would probably agree with me, is that don't let people do that to the detriment of the global economy or the American economy, or that ends up fucking over troops or grandmas or whatever.
Yeah.
Don't do that. There has to be some fucking lines that we say, okay, you can make money, but can't make it by doing this fucking shitty thing.
That's exactly what I meant before, with the all those companies getting together, because there's a point when you're just too powerful. It's obviously the mom and pop store and all that stuff. They should be able to do whatever the fuck they want and make all the money they want.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. But it gets to a point when you're just too powerful. And then people start bringing out the argument, for instance, like with Twitter, like, yeah, they have every right to ban you. They're a private enterprise, but no, they're not really, are they? They're a public enterprise.
I'm so glad to hear you say that, because I've made the same point to so many people that have been so upset with me for it. I've told people, like, look, this is at some point when you're a communications platform used by hundreds of millions or even a billion people. Mm-hmm. I feel like it doesn't make sense for you to just, I'm the big head honcho here. I'm just in charge and there's no way to question my authority. No, you're running a massive communications platform. At some point, I think it stops belonging exclusively to the company and kind of belongs to the users as well.
Yeah, it's kind of like a utility.
Yeah, I mean, because it's like your phone line or something. You wouldn't want to have a phone company that banned you for what you said over the fucking phone to your friend. Like, yeah, man, anyway, fuck them Jews. And then click, oh, what? Why can't I mean, whatever, it's ignorant, but why can't he say that? If someone wants to fucking create a Twitter account, I hate Jews, Zyklon B forever or whatever. I mean, fucking let them do it. Let him be an asshole. Let people go to him and be like, that guy sucks.
Exactly.
What do you give a shit? Why does he need to be banned? All that does is make it look like you're afraid of what he has to say. Why would you be afraid of what he has to say?
Yeah, and it doesn't work.
Don't fear ideas, because all you do is give them power.
That's exactly right, because that's what they've tried to do in Europe. They've tried to fucking, just ban it and not talk about it. And what do you get? You get fucking Brexit. Maybe we'll get Le Pen in France. It just doesn't work. You can't just silence these things.
Oh yeah, and especially the porn restrictions over there in the UK and shit.
What was that? Like,
oh yeah, they have all kinds of weird restrictions, at least on the porn that's shot there. And I think you have to call in and get porn unfiltered and shit. I mean, most people will probably have workarounds and shit, but there's like weird rules about S&M stuff there. Like, oh, that glorifies abuse. It's like, no, it doesn't. It's consensual between. This is like saying that, football glorifies going out and just tackling people in the streets because you saw it on football. It's a form of entertainment. It's meant to stimulate certain parts of the brain and shit. And just because you see a woman getting spanked with a paddle or something on a video doesn't mean you're gonna I'm gonna get a paddle and I'm gonna go out in the streets and just spank random women. I mean, some crazy asshole might do that, but that's the problem, not the porn that he watched that inspired his dumb ass.
Yeah.
If you break the law, that's on you. You know what the fucking law is. That's not okay to do. So whatever.
Wow, I didn't know they had fucking censorship laws out there.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know how strong they are. I don't know what sort of enforceability they have because I don't live there. But I do know that they have those in effect.
Wow. So they go through all the list of sites and ban certain things. So, oh, this is BDSM. Let's ban that. And then you can't even enter that thing into your browser.
I don't even know how that works, honestly. I don't know how the system is implemented. I don't even know if it's implemented effectively. I don't know how easy it is to work around.
Well, you could obviously get a VPN or something to get.
Yeah, sure. So I don't think. I don't know. I mean, no. We'd have to ask the people who live there in the audience, like what kind of legitimate problem that even represents to them.
Yeah, let's have that be a thing in the comments. People from England telling us about the porn laws.
Yeah, tell us about your porn laws, Brits.
Yeah, that's interesting.
We don't want to research. We just want you to tell us.
Yeah, well, I mean, people love doing the research. So.
Oh yeah. I always love a well-researched comment in the YouTube.
Yeah, with citations.
Yeah, I respect that so much more than just like this sucked or this was great.
Of course. Well, that is good. You got to give that up. I mean, so you're not. You obviously have like fucking thousands of comments every day, so you can't really get a overview of that, I guess.
Oh, I mean, I take a look and I try to read, especially after a video first goes up. I mean, maybe the first like 20 or 30 minutes of comments are pretty much useless because that's just people commenting before they've even seen shit because they want to be early.
Yeah, first.
Yeah. Ooh, look, I was an early commenter. Never been here this early. Last time I was this early, this thing happened. Yeah, notification squad and blah, blah, blah. Those losers. And, after those fucking... I don't know, those kids that weren't hugged enough fucking have their little fun. After 30 minutes or so, you start getting the real comments, and I'll try to read those for about an hour afterwards.
Right.
I'm pretty obsessive about checking new comments on a video for the first few hours, just kind of see how people feel about it and stuff and what they think about what I said. And, if people point out, if I see enough people say this was dog shit, then I know, okay, not necessarily the whole video was dog shit, but some point I made was dog shit. Then I know either I didn't explain that well, or maybe I'm wrong about this, or it's something I maybe need to look at, or maybe they're all just wrong about this, because sometimes I end up coming to that conclusion, like, nope, you're all just wrong, fuck you. But it can be helpful to kind of gauge that and see how people receive things. I guess it kind of worries me that maybe it'll compromise my content, but I think as long as I'm vigilant against that, it won't do that. Yeah,
well, it's good to stay in touch as much as you can, but that's one of the things you kind of realize that you can't see everything. There's no way for me to see everything, and it must be 100 times worse for you with 1 million subscribers. There's just no way to see when you get thousands of comments on every video.
Usually, if you're reading comments, you'll get to a point where it starts to get repetitive. You'll see people saying the same stuff. And then, usually that's the point where I'll say, okay, I think I've got a temperature of the room. And then I'll just move on from there. I think it is important to read comments to an extent. I mean, look, you can't put 100% stock in it because, look, there's huge portions of the audience that just never comment. They watch, they listen, they have some sort of feeling about what you said, or it inspired some sort of thoughts in them, but they're not sharing it. So you don't really, you have to look at the comments realizing like this is a self-selected group of people who feel like they need to fucking open their mouths, but there might be other people perceiving this in a very different way. They just don't want to say it, or they're just not into that sort of thing. So you got to kind of take it with a grain of salt, but I think it is important to, at least see what the people who cared enough to comment are feeling. Not that they care more than other people or whatever, but.
No, I agree. And I'm probably the same way. I'll try to fit in a couple of hours after I upload a video to stay and look at the comments and reply to anything that I think needs a reply and all that stuff. But I also think that that's kind of what the good thing is about Twitter, because it's a gating mechanism for people who really have something important. People who have really something important to say, they'll have to switch to a new tab and go to Twitter and then write me. So I find that I get a lot of interesting and thoughtful comments on Twitter because those guys actually took the time to go there and write me. Even if they hated it, it might be something good. If they thought it sucked, they may have had a good point. And
or maybe they have an important correction too, because it'll happen to that. That I'll make a video and I'll say something in it that's factually inaccurate, and someone will bring it to my attention, and I'll do some further investigating. And sometimes I'll find that their correction is wrong, and other times I'll find that they're actually correct in saying what they said to me. And there's other variants too, I guess, but mostly those two, and that can be helpful. And I feel like I get a lot of interesting comments on Twitter and shit from people about videos.
How many death threats do you get?
I used to have a very strong no blocking anybody policy. Like, I really just want to be about let people say what they want,
Mm-hmm.
But at some point I just realized, like, this Twitter is my fucking little fiefdom and shit. And if someone's annoying me, I have the right, like if someone comes into my house and pisses me off, I have the right to say, get the fuck out of my house. So
Right.
I don't want to be coddled in a safe space. I don't want to have a block bot that preemptively blocks people. But if someone annoys the shit out of me, I'm not above blocking them. So if I get a death threat, like, I'm going to come kill you, it's like, that's great, you're blocked. Just come fucking do it, bitch. Quit telling me you're going to do it and come fucking do it. Because my opinion is no one is going to tell me they're going to kill me and then kill me. If someone decides to kill me, they're not going to fucking first take to Twitter to let me know. Here's fair warning. Coming to kill you soon. You ain't going to do shit, you little bitch.
That is retarded.
Whoever's going to come fucking murder me at my house, they're going to be someone who doesn't fucking tell me beforehand, okay? So I don't waste time with that. I don't fucking have time to talk to time-wasting dipshits. But I don't really get many death threats anymore because I've blocked people who do it, so they just don't bother with it.
Right. Well, I feel that I've only gotten...
It's usually Islam, though.
Yeah, it is. That's what I was going to say. It's always Muslims who want to, kill me in the name of the Quran, basically. So
yeah.
You got to hand that to the SJWs. At least they don't want to kill me.
The best death threat I ever got was from a Buddhist.
Oh, really? A Buddhist?
Yeah, I made a video forever ago. Not even on my main channel anymore. I don't even know if it's on YouTube anywhere anymore. It was against Buddhism.
Mm-hmm.
I was basically just arguing against the central tenet of Buddhism because it's all about detachment.
Right.
It's all about, we need to overcome attachments because attachments are the source of our pain in this world, and materialism is bad and blah, 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 blah. And I made an argument against that. I thought it wasn't, it's me, so I'm not going to say it was overly respectful, but it was a legitimate argument that was presented that, they could have argued with on merit and presented counter arguments to. But I guess Buddhists are really not too used to being aggressively criticized, so they just lost their shit.
Wow.
I've never seen a more angry group of people in my life than when I insulted Buddhism, which that was pretty surprising to me because I thought they were pretty chill. But apparently
that is surprising.
That is an outer facade. If you want to do an experiment, make an anti-Buddhist video that strongly condemns Buddhism and see what you do.
That's
but
tempting.
But anyway, there was a guy who wrote me, and he fucking it was so long ago I can't remember now, but it was a big screed about, how dare you fucking insult Buddhism? It's helped so many people. You're a piece of shit. If I ever saw you, I would kill you. And I was like, it doesn't seem like it's helped you very much. I don't know. Seems like you're the same violent psychopath you apparently always were.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
So that was definitely the most surreal death threat I ever got. I've not gotten too many that I identify as being from SJWs. I will say that aside from just generally ignoring me, they also don't bother sending me death threats.
Right.
Muslims, they'll send me death threats. Christians a few times have sent me death threats. And then there's just be ones I can't tell who the fuck they're from, just random crazy people like, you piece of shit, you're garbage, I'm killing you soon. Blah blah blah.
I think
like,
my favorite comments are those that you can't even figure out what they're talking about.
Oh yeah, I've had people comment on videos of mine, and then I'll later realize, oh, they meant to comment on a different video, and that was in response to something I said like 3 videos ago.
Yeah. Or just, they're so bad at typing, you just can't figure out what the hell are you talking about? What is this? It's just word salad.
Oh yeah, I love the word salad shit. I mean, some of it's trolling too. These fuckers, they know they're just writing gibberish. They just want to waste your time. I
think I think there's a lot of people. I think there's a lot. Sorry.
I said a lot of them are just dumb too.
Well, yeah, I think there are a lot of people that just don't know how to write. I think that's kind of sad.
Yeah, especially in a world where writing has become so much more important as a communications medium. It used to just be that people, they would read and maybe they would have to send the odd letter every now and then, but now so much conversation is written, with people texting each other, people typing comments on the internet and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, there's probably
it's such a vital skill to life, and yet some people are still so bad at it. And I don't know if it's because they're just too stupid to get it, or they just don't care, or they just grew up in an environment where it wasn't prized or whatever. I don't know, but I'll definitely occasionally I'll see things that just I'll get like 3 sentences in and just be like, I can't do this anymore. I can't read this giant run-on block of unpunctuated, all lowercase, misspelled fucking garbage that just rambles on and on.
It doesn't have to be long, but sometimes I just cannot understand. Are you criticizing me, or are you criticizing the person in my video, or?
Oh yeah, someone will just be like, "What a moron," and you don't know if you're talking about. Are you talking about the guy I was just dissing on, or are you talking about me? And also, it's spelled moron, which you are.
Yeah, that's kind of my favorite.
Yeah, I could definitely see those.
So I have no idea. You're talking about me or that guy? Yeah. All right, that's fine.
I just noticed you said "idea."
Right. People get on my ass for that.
Oh no! I just it's very telling about your regional origins.
All right.
Idea.
Oh well.
I always love how that accent will put R's in words where they don't belong and take them out of words where they do belong. Like car. It's a car. Get in the car. Like what?
Right.
We saved all those R's for our ID.
Well, I'm not that bad. I don't say. I don't say Kohler or anything like that. I'm going to get myself a Kohler.
Ugh. Yeah. No, you're not too bad. It's just a twang. Every once in a while, I'll catch myself going into the redneck voice because I grew up in the South predominantly.
But that's what everyone loves. So.
Oh yeah.
Everyone loves when you go all fucking crazy and pissed off with your redneck shit.
Oh yeah, but I mean, like, I just naturally though, like, not even like I'm trying to be like a redneck right now. I'm just trying to sound like this. But a lot of times I'll say fixin'. Like I'll be like, yeah, I was just fixing to grab a soda, or something like that. And people be like, fixin'? What are you fucking what? Or
that is pretty specific. It's kind of like pop. Yeah. Gonna get a pop.
I don't think I've ever lived. Maybe I've lived places where they call it pop, but I've never called it pop.
No.
Actually, in Louisiana, it's pretty much all people just say Coke for pretty much every soda. Like if you're drinking a Dr. Pepper, they'll be like, "Yeah, just drinking a Coke."
Really?
Yeah. So it can be weird, but
I haven't lived anywhere where they said that, but that's what they said. I had a job in Chicago. That's what they always said in Chicago. So, yeah, I guess that's their thing. Kind of seemed weird to me.
Yeah, regional dialects and shit.
Right.
Anyway, I guess we've been talking for a while here. You want to come up with some big wrap up topic so we don't kind of fizzle out on the topic of fucking soda and regional dialects?
All right. So just as a sort of a small topic that has something to do with what we talked about before. What do you think about how there's a paradox with the SJWs? They're really championing the right of women to do whatever they want with their bodies and all that, which is fine. Not saying that's bad, but at the same time, they want to control your mind. They want to be able to control what you say. They want to be able to control what you can think. And obviously, this sounded better in my head before I said it.
No, I mean, like, I'm kind of, I get where you're coming from because it's ideologically, all these groups with these dogmas, they always try to make everybody think the same way they do. And it's very rare that you'll come across an ideological group that can tolerate another point of view very well, because they all have it built into them that we're right, everyone else is wrong, we're good, everyone else is bad, and the less like us they are, the worse they are. So that's like built into ideologies in general. But the way that SJWs have not just had those feelings, but put them into practice, it's like the control that religion had on this country in like the Reagan years and kind of moving up through most of the Bush years. Right. Like that time chunk where the evangelicals were really powerful in America, and they still have power. But for a while, it was like you kind of knew that they were in control of what the mainstream saw. And, you know, there was things that would come out of Hollywood and out of things like that that would challenge their sensibilities and be like sort of a counterculture pushing against it. Right. But at some point, that counterculture became dominant. And just like all these SJWs look back to the past and say, like, I wish we had our great civil rights movement. Now the counterculture is kind of like, well, we kind of won this culture war, at least in terms of like controlling, you know, media and what people see and stuff. So what do we do now? Well, I guess we'll just try to control how they talk, and how they think and how they feel. So a movement that used to be about free expression and giving alternative voices a say is now all about protecting its establishment street cred and making sure that no one's allowed to think differently than them. And it's because, you know, ideological groups, they stand, it's like freedom is just a buzzword for these people. When they're not in power, it's freedom, freedom, freedom. We have to have freedom. These other people are oppressive. But then when they get the power, then they're all about, oh shit, fuck freedom. No, you don't need that. That's the threat to us, because freedom and liberty, that's always a threat to an establishment of any kind, whether it's a media establishment, a government establishment, whatever. The idea that people can fucking think things contrary to what the establishment wants is inherently a threat. So now the culture war is kind of like flipped a bitch. Now, obviously, conservatives, because they've lost the culture war, have seized the fucking White House very effectively. And that's why so many of these SJWs are now losing their shit even more hardcore, because they thought they had this whole thing locked down. It's like, no, the culture war was only one front of the war you were fighting. And now that you've won it, you're kind of botching it. You're doing a really piss poor job, and you're making everybody hate you, and you're looking like fools. So careful what you wish for, I guess. That would be my sentiment there. I don't know. What do you think?
I think it's interesting that you can win the culture war and still lose. That's very... I didn't expect that. Like, they have control of the media, pretty much. Pretty much 100% control of the media.
Very damn close.
And they're still losing. That's really weird to me. So I guess you can't sell everything with marketing and all that. So.
Yeah, it's like I made a joke once about on this along the same point about like you could get Arnold Schwarzenegger out there selling you the fucking Dick Grinder 9000. What you do is you stick your dick in it and you fucking turn the crank and it rips your dick to pieces. It doesn't matter how much you sell that. Doesn't matter how slick the marketing campaign, what celebrity endorses it, how awesome they might try to make it seem. No one's buying that because it's horrible. So yeah, I mean, you know, controlling the fucking the mass media and controlling the conversation as far as culture goes in so many places, that only goes so far. Because at the end of the day, if people don't like the product you're selling, you're not going to fucking sell it.
No, that's very true. I think that's a good note to end on.
Yeah, I think you're right. I enjoyed doing it. I enjoyed being here. I hope you would also enjoyed it.
I think it was awesome. Thank you very much.
My girlfriend Chelsea here. You want to say hi, Chelsea?
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
No, you're all right. She always apologizes for everything.
She knew that.
But
Never apologize.
never apologize, Chelsea.